Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Check the Gate, and it appears as though ASTRO BOT has been emulated for PC as Sony disc backlash continues. And it's not just about the Sony disc backlash. Don't forget, this also stems from the fact that Sony has pulled back away from releasing their first-party titles on PC as well. And sometimes, they act as though they're doing us a favor by releasing their first-party titles on PC 1 to 2 to sometimes even 3 years later. So gamers are continuing to fight back against Sony's decision to cease physical disc production. And now one of the company's most prominent exclusives in the last few years, ASTRO BOT, has been successfully emulated on PC. So ASTRO BOT didn't sell millions of copies, but it is now one of their beloved franchises, and ASTRO BOT is a Sony mascot, much like Ratchet and Clank. And last year in 2024, they won Game of the Year, surprisingly, beating out several other contenders, right? But a PC port was never issued for ASTRO BOT, and with Sony's no longer commissioning single-player exclusives for PC or anywhere else, it's a big move to see it emulated on PC, and some believe it's a counter move to the disc controversy. So guys, if you don't know what's happening, last week news broke that 4 active and fast developing emulators for the PS5 are now in full production and full development, and things are happening quicker and faster than we imagined. Discord user Arsantilla has apparently managed to get ASTRO BOT working on PC using SharpEmu, and that's one of the 4 emulators for the PS5. SharpEmu is described as an experimental PlayStation 5 emulator project, but clearly one that works. And everyone is getting in on this news right now, guys. The news was reported by Tech Droider, and an X post clearly shows ASTRO BOT being started up using the emulator on PC. Obviously, it's unclear how stable the game is or how well it runs, but it's a major hurdle cleared for potential PS5 to PC emulation. And here is Tech Droider's post on X right now. Sony is in full panic mode. A Discord user named Arsantilla has reportedly managed to boot ASTRO BOT on PC using SharpEmu, a PS5 emulators for Windows PC. ASTRO BOT is a 2024 PS5 exclusive, so seeing it even boot on a PC is huge. PS5 emulator developing is moving, and it's moving fast, guys. And in another post by X user Gilgamesh8443 said, the funniest thing is that this emulator probably wouldn't have gotten so popular and have gotten the recent support it did if Sony hadn't made the recent decision to become supervillains. They've turned into Nintendo, and now they're being treated like Nintendo. And also, a Don't Kill the Disc petition against Sony PlayStation was launched, and we now learn that Sony is staring down a $457 million lawsuit amid the chaos. And also, there is a new presidential candidate in France who has spoken about the situation and how they're looking to pass legislation in the EU, and they think that this is actually illegal according to the terms of service for the consumer protections of the EU as well. Guys, if you also remember that the emulator for the PS4 took years to develop, and that was because it was a different instruction set. And now the PS5 development, and what's crazy is that most of the advancements are coming from the Linux side of these programs and the development. But all in all, that's a whole nother conversation. It doesn't matter Linux or Windows. What matters is that everybody is coming together with their weapons of choice and tools of choice, and they're going full force. And wouldn't it be funny if we see a Grand Theft Auto 5 emulation for the PS5 on PC even before the PC version of Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out eventually, right? Guys, this is big news, okay? Let it be known. Emulation also, it's not just about piracy, but it's also about preservation. And we have now learned that the PSP and the PS Vita storefronts are actually going kaput. And that's crazy because everything that you bought on that platform is no longer being supported by Sony themselves. Really exciting and interesting times to be alive and to be gaming, because a lot of things are happening that we didn't expect things to happen in 2026. This was not in my bingo card, man. Like, I knew that PS5 emulation was eventually going to be a thing, but not so fast. And it looks as though Sony themselves have shot themselves in the foot and have sparked this movement and this debate and the conversation of emulation on the PS5 on PC. This is great times, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. ASTRO BOT.